Okay, we got TYMKey playing Emeric over on the top side of the map in the red. Up against RPG Master aka Derrick999. They are going to be playing Koji in the blue. And I really like Koji in Fog. I think Koji is one of the best Fog commanders. How do you feel
Yeah,
about
you
Koji?
kind of do jump scare like your opponents.
Yeah, and I guess the big difference between Wargroove 1 and 2 is the bomb health is much lower on Wargroove 2, so you don't get these like scout units that are basically invincible. However, they're still pretty good for scouting. You can still throw one forward just to see what's happening on the map. So I'm interested to see how that's going to turn out. And we have Emeric as well. And Emeric is not a commander you expect to see that often
Yeah,
right now.
I mean, there's a lot of like ways you can look at Emeric. On one end, like your opponent actually sees the crystal aura through the fog, so you can think like, oh, it's really bad for fog. But you can also say that, well, I mean, if you're putting an Emeric crystal, it has to be in your opponent's face anyways, so they'll know about it.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's not like a twins healing groove or something where you can kind of throw it down safely on your side.
Oh, and TYMKey goes for a village yoke with the commander.
Yeah,
The commander is not like high HP enough to capture that village and have it be above 40%, so that sword can decap that village.
yeah, but
But we'll see how that goes.
getting the yoink though is quite nice. And actually healing Emeric is quite nice too, because now all of a sudden you've got like this commander that can really punish the sword if the sword tries to stay and hit the village.
you, although, I mean, you will have to use the sword to get vision on the sword, on the other sword, so like the
That's
sword
true.
can sort of safely decap that village. And TYMKey like got a nice top right thing going on, but in the bottom left they're quite late. But Koji doesn't see that the bottom villages aren't really captured, and they're gonna go aggressive instead. And that lumber mill still had a tree on it, so a very good decap actually.
Yeah, yeah, it's a nice little pick me up there.
Tank is actually very late to capturing that watchtower.
Yeah, ooh, that's some nice vision though. Actually, can
Yeah.
Emeric? I don't know if Emeric can hit the 70% with that health.
How much is he at?
86? Okay, he's just gonna walk out
Oh
and heal.
yeah, wasn't enough.
Okay, so TYMKey's just gonna play a bit conservatively now with their commander, which I will never fault someone for doing that in Fog. You can absolutely just get murdered if you make the wrong play early.
Mm, Air troopers are actually pretty good at getting vision. They have 3 vision and they can go on mountain easily.
Okay. So yeah, I can see some air trooper action as well. Yeah, because generally when you think about scouting units, you think dogs, you think like to some extent witches. But yeah, air trooper being like an actual additional scouting option, especially yeah, because they'll get the bonus vision from being on a mountain, whereas like a witch wouldn't. So
Yep. I mean, they won't be able to see into forests, but it's still pretty good to have 5 vision. It looks like they're both playing pretty safe right now. Like, although, ooh, I say that, and Derek goes for a very aggressive positioning. You don't know what's there really. And on this map, like it's really hard to push into your opponent's watchtower because your opponent will have full vision of what your army is. So we're kind of seeing the players not really approach that part of the map. See the top right, like they're staying more in the corner. Um, Bottom left, TYMKey really isn't pushing at all. Right, here we see Emeric tier 1. And this harpy hit is like, it's either some free damage on Koji or you just threw a harpy away. And this is fog you don't know until your opponent's turn.
Yeah, I guess you can keep an ear out for like potential mages, but they sound so similar to other infantry that it's difficult to tell. And oh, there is actually a mage in range to punish. So.
And I mean, these kinds of play where you're like, aha, the air is gonna have a free hit, usually doesn't work out in fog because people expect it and have a lot of mages. And mages don't get punished as hard by knights in fog because they can stand in range of a knight as long as the knight doesn't have vision on them.
Something interesting here though. So there's a second harpy behind all of this. So this mage is going to go down. And then now there's actually no mage on the left. So the second harpy is actually going to be able to get more value.
Yep, but does TYMKey know that? Like your psychology usually when you go for a gamble like that and it doesn't work, you don't want to go for it the second time, right? And there we go.
Yep. Elects not to go for it.
Even though in this case it actually has higher chances to succeed the second time.
Yeah, it is actually that weird thing of like try again. It does definitely work to some extent on fog. Like, how many mages do you think your opponent is going to build in the face of you spamming harpies with them not knowing about it? I guess they could, like, in theory hear the harpies, but yeah, I mean, there's fun fake outs you can do, right? You can build, oh no, that thief's just dead.
And Derrick is much more active around the corners.
Yeah, just very okay with the idea of like, I'm just gonna attack you on these sides. And
I mean, it's working out so far. Like, they have both corners pretty much. And TYMKey doesn't have much to show for it.
yeah, and you know, you got a balloon here, so like,
Oh, actually, the scary thing in this position for Derrick is that TYMKey has ideas on the stronghold.
Yeah, but I mean, so does Derrick. Like, he's right up against it.
Oh, and it's Koji groove too, huh? This rifles in fog are either amazing or you just lose them. They're very risky.
Yeah, I mean,
because if your opponent doesn't see them, then they basically are unanswered hits, and they can't really wall properly against the rifle because they don't know where it is. But if your opponent spots them, it's really hard to know what to wall against. So like there's more dogs in fog in general, so harpy can just get like picked off randomly. I mean rifle, not harpy.
right.
Yeah, looks like TYMKey is moving back towards Koji. Doesn't want to deal with any Koji HQ shenanigans. We'll see if Derrick has been very aggressive this whole game. We'll see if they like have the discipline to retreat Koji now.
Yeah, I mean,
because in this position, like, there's not that many places where TYMKey's army could be, right?
yeah.
You have a lot of vision, so.
Well, they're gonna be more aggressive still, but I think even though you're being aggressive with the army in this position, yeah, you want to back up a little bit.
With the commander.
Ooh, and nice hex there. That's gonna deal with that mage. Probably should have hexed earlier, depending, but it's hard to know what you should do before you actually do it in fog.
Yeah. If you like, a hex is a pretty big commitment because you don't want to lose the witch. So I mean, in fog, I think it's fine to hex afterwards when you have more information.
Yeah.
But yeah, here we see like TYMKey has to push into Derrick's watchtower. So Derrick has vision on everything right now. And this is very dangerous. Although Emeric is close to having tier 2 groove, which is going to be more impactful than the tier 1, for sure.
No ranged units to go with it though, so not going to get the what I think is like the real significant benefit of the tier 2 is that you can do some like hilariously like scary things with like even just archers with 5 range is like ridiculous.
I mean, I think just the defense, the range, and it not losing as much HP is pretty good.
Watch Sarah's gonna go down. It takes a lot of damage to do that, but
Derrick is really confident with these swords in the top left. Like, and TYMKey really didn't challenge them. They've been like hitting villages for like every turn since. So it feels like forever these swords have been hitting stuff. And TYMKey doesn't have anything to punish.
okay.
I mean,
Tier 2
I guess
crystal.
Derrick has a very good read on where TYMKey is. And I mean, they also have this this watchtower giving them vision of everything of where TYMKey is, so it makes sense. And TYMKey has been like making their strategy has been to have their entire army grouped up so that if any all-in fights happen, they're likely to win it. But here, it hasn't happened so far, and Derrick has been content to just take small trades here and there, but most importantly, they have been getting a lot of economy in the top left, and fighting really well into the crystal right now.
Yeah, ooh,
Koji has tier 2,
yeah.
That's scary. And I don't think TYMKey has that information yet. Maybe there's a play where you... Oh, never mind. Gonna use the groove.
Yeah, I mean the Spire bombs live forever, so yeah, you just put them somewhere like defensively, and you can save up. You can start building for a second groove. If there's a...
Actually, I wonder, like, do the bombs still push if they are killed on enemy phase? So, like, you would kill the bomb and then be pushed back?
I don't know,
So
actually.
It would actually make it safer to kill the bombs. That's interesting. But yeah. So here, this is actually a pretty interesting fight because TYMKey has the crystal defense, but Derrick has vision. And oh, see that rifle just got picked up by a dog.
Watchtower goes down again. Actually, both
really...
watchtowers, so nobody has any vision right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty easy for Derrick to just capture it at the start of their turn. So they effectively had the lower watchtower.
And I love the use of just running Emeric to somewhere he can't be seen. He might even be out of range of the watchtowers
I mean,
at this point.
you know the bombs just got used. You don't want Emeric anywhere near that.
Yeah, so one bomb goes off, so I guess like yeah, you're in a much better position now. H gets the kill.
Yep. Even under crystal.
And it just brings that Koji bomb somewhere a bit safer. And we're gonna see some kills come in here. Yeah, if you can pick off anything that isn't under the crystal, you might as well go for it. And I mean, Derrick's just got this big econ advantage still, so
Yeah, they're slowly like grinding down the advantage. And I mean, eventually it will be big enough that TYMKey can't really fight back despite being under the crystal.
yeah. But TYMKey's doing a really good job so far. Able to get even more kills. I think we're gonna see a second tier 2 come out from Emeric. Maybe one
Yep.
day there'll be a ranged unit to go with it, but for the moment he's just content to...
Nah, that's not what the groove is about.
Listen, I just want to see it. I want to see some cool play with like a ranged unit in Emeric tier 2. One day it'll happen. But today is apparently not that day. So...
I think the crystal can go down this turn if Derrick wants to, which, you know, not necessary, I guess.
We're gonna balloon their commander somewhere.
Oh, this is dangerous. If you try to drop Koji into that forest and it gets ambushed, yeah, that would have been scary.
Okay, just gonna move back to the stronghold. That makes sense. This is like one of the things that could kill. Is there's a knight crit lined up actually on the stronghold. Oh, really nice position there with the dog. Gonna get that crit.
Wants to get vision on that tide. Doesn't have vision on the stronghold there.
Okay.
Oh, and now we see this is a very I'm gonna kill you, your stronghold kind of crystal.
Yeah, and ooh.
Not very subtle, but I mean, in fog with Emeric, you can't really be subtle in where you place your crystal, anyways.
Yeah, we just see.
Yeah, we'll see how that ends up going.
Yeah, I actually think because of the positioning of Emeric, like versus where the bomb is, the Sparrow Bomb can't actually really do anything. So
I mean, collision damage isn't affected by the crystal defense, so there's
okay.
that.
But I think it just wasn't really super close to being in range. Although now I think it could actually do something. But
Oh, actually, while all this has been going on, Derrick has built up 3 golems with their econ lead.
yeah, that's going to be a hard wall to break. And yeah, as I say that, like we're seeing even more stuff walling for the stronghold. 3 golems. I wouldn't be
There's still
surprised.
that bomb in the back that TYMKey doesn't know where it is. Is that threat, and
I think
yeah,
TYMKey sees the golems and is just like, no, like I can't come back from this. Derrick had a really nice economy lead all game and just played very smartly. That was actually a really fun game to watch. Like they just able
too
to
many
play
golems.
yeah, able to play very aggressively while keeping their commander safe. Uses the bombs very smartly, and yeah, he's just like, I'm just gonna build up a bunch of golems behind this so when the big fight at the end of the game does happen, I'm gonna be ready. And that's what we saw. It was very even on kills, so yeah, just a very close game overall, aside from the economy advantage allowing to build those golems.
Yep, maybe TYMKey should have went for the stronghold with their first tier 2 groove before Derrick had the time to build up the golems with the econ lead.
Yeah, definitely an option. But for now, we're gonna move on to the